Let's say that we're working with the bass sound and it does sound cool, but it's lacking a little bit of clarity in the low end and sounding a bit muddy, something like this. Now, typically in this scenario, what we might do is reach for something like an EQ to kind of pull out some of the frequencies that are causing that woofiness, right? So maybe we take a bell curve and we kind of reduce some around here. But the problem with doing this approach is that while it might sound okay on some notes, the muddiness inside of the bass is actually a moving target because all the harmonics are moving in relation to the note that's being played. And this is the situation where Melodyne really shines over EQ. So let's take a look at some of my favorite ways to address this exact problem. One of my favorite ways to solve this muddiness issue is to mess around with the harmonic balance using the Formant tool. So we can actually do this just from this screen here, where I hold Command A and then I go up to the very top and just grab our Formant tool. And all I'm going to do is just drag this up, 300 or 400 cents, something like that. And check out what this sounds like. So you can hear that the mid-range is much more focused now. And the cool part about working with Formants is that we're shifting the harmonic balance. So we're raising some of the harmonics and we're lowering other ones depending on which direction we go. And that's more of a natural way of shifting the tone in your bass sounds versus something like EQ where we're just stripping it all away. So that's a great way to start with one of the more basic tools, but we can actually get more sophisticated with how we approach shifting the Formants. So if I just undo this and I go up to the top and go to our sound editor, here we can see kind of the DNA of the average harmonics of our sound here. And what we can actually do is instead of shifting all the Formants at once, we can actually just focus the ones that we really want to shift on an individual basis or a group basis. So what I'm going to do here is just highlight a few of these bars, say, 2 through 9 here, and I'm just going to shift the Formants of those alone. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this. Now I can hear that as I shift the Formants down, it's actually making the problem that I was hearing initially much worse. So what I'd like to do is just stick with raising the Formants, so dragging them to the left. The nice thing about this is that we can leave all the other harmonics inside of our sound intact, but we can just focus on the ones that are causing the main issues here. We can also take another approach here where instead of shifting the Formants of a group of harmonics here, we can just increase or reduce their impact on our tone. So if I go to the bottom here and I just right click and go to reset all, get a nice clean fresh slate for us to work from, I'm just going to highlight harmonics 2 through 4 because that's typically where you'll find all of that sort of muddiness in the notes that are being played. So I'm going to increase this so you can hear the impact that it has. And then once we reduce this, we can perhaps increase the overall clarity of our tone here. What I really like about this is that we can keep the oomph of the sound here by leaving this first harmonic alone, or even increasing it if we need to have a little bit more sub in there. And the other cool thing that Melodyne does is that no matter how far you reduce these harmonics or increase them even, it will try to maintain an even output gain for you. I like that feature for maintaining a little bit more objectivity as we're messing around with the tone of our bass here. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that let's say I highlight all these harmonics and I'm thinking I want to increase the formant, so I'm dragging to the right here. You can see this very first harmonic is actually being lowered as I drag this up. So if I play this, it's got more of that growl, right? But maybe we've sacrificed a little bit of weight to the bass and we don't want to do that. So all we need to do is just bring up this first harmonic. This is where all that low end is. So I really like that for bringing that weight back and not feeling like you're sacrificing anything by shifting these harmonics. And also, let's not forget that at the very bottom of the sound editor, you have these sliders that have a huge impact on the tone of a bass sound like this. So what we can do is, if I just reset everything by right-clicking and going to reset all one more time, the two sliders I want you to pay attention to is this Contour and this Brilliance slider. Okay, so the Contour slider is kind of, you can think of this as like the personality of your bass sound. So if I increase this, you'll kind of hear that the muddiness is getting a little bit worse. So it stands to reason that if we bring the contour the other direction, it might help solve our problem a little bit. So it's kind of evened out some of those harmonics. And once you've done this, one thing that I've noticed is that the Brilliance slider becomes even more effective with all of these harmonics more evenly distributed. Okay, so if we just increase the Brilliance here now, you can kind of just crisp up those upper harmonics in a really pleasing way, let's say. And as we know, it's really about choosing the right tool for the job. EQ is great for some things, but shifting those harmonics and keeping everything proportional, particularly to the notes that are being played, is a really, really helpful tool to have in your toolkit. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.